everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ahana and here we talk about all things related to stationery, planners, productivity, organization and in general trying to live your best life. And if that interests you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also click the bell icon to be notified every single time I post a new video. So we're almost to the end of the year and I love this time because this is when all of the planner nerds here are deciding what planners to get for the new year. And if you need any help at all, I have a whole playlist of reviews of all the planners that have come out so far, which are like, the most popular brands. I've done like a walkthrough first impression sort, so you can check out the playlist right here. And today I will be telling you what I thought of the planners that I have been using for this entire year and how they have served me, what I loved about them, what I didn't quite like about them, and what elements of each planner I would love to include in my 2023 planning system. If you have been following me this year, then you know that I have used three main planners. So the first is obviously the Inkbucket, which has been like my standard for the past 2 years now. And then I have the Artchetype Planner, which I bought in May of this year. And I also have the Tiny Change Planner, which again I started using from right the beginning of the year. Not all of them I have continued using so far, and I will tell you why. So I've kind of divided this video into like, I will tell you what I thought of the planner, how using it for like a year or however long I managed to use it felt like, and the hits and misses, like the things that I loved about it, the things that I did not love about it. So we're gonna start with the Inkbucket planner because that's the one which I've been using the longest and I'm still using it actually. So here is my Inkbucket planner. As you can see, nice and fat from like proper use. The tabs here are slightly bent, so it's been well loved this year. And I will tell you what I love the most. It's something which is really underrated, and that is this pocket. So it has a lot of my bills and receipts and photographs that I've taken with friends and things which I want to keep handy, but also I might not need like all the time, so I don't keep it in my wallet or something, or in my like handbag. It's just something where I know exactly where it is. It's really useful. So I love the pocket. That was hit number one. Next, what I really love about this planner is the weekly spread. So I did not use this planner as like a to-do list. I sort of used it as like a daily journaling thing. So when I look back at the weekly spreads now, every single day has a 3-4 line entry and I kind of see like my year in recap, and I love that. I love that I know exactly what I was doing on January 5th, 2022 and exactly what I was doing on like July 25th, 2022. It's like a nice collection of memories for this year, and I love having this. Apart from that, there are also a lot of space for notes. So I have used all of the notes pages extensively to make like my travel planning lists and checklists and like sort of brain dumping and making notes for any plans that I have upcoming, any gifts that I want to give friends and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of lists basically that I have made for any of the trips that I've taken this year. I have made like packing lists and everything in the several note pages, so I've used it very, very extensively. I also really like the monthly intentions page. So I haven't followed through with it, but I liked having that space to set up a monthly intention and having monthly to-dos and priorities and things that you're looking forward to. So I like the concept behind that. I liked having that space. I felt like it was a little too much for me towards the end, like I wouldn't get so much time or didn't have the patience to fill in all of it, but I really like having that space. So these were the hits for me. Getting to the misses, number one, which I said I think as soon as I even got the planner, is that the monthly tracker section that absolutely does not work for me. I have not used it in a single month. I have tried, I've filled in like my habits and everything, but I just could not get myself to use it, like flip to the monthly page every single day. That was just not happening for me. So I left it, and that was kind of blank for all of the year. I tried for the first 2 months and then I didn't try anymore. That was one. Next is the budget tracker. I feel like it's a weekly budget tracker, but also it doesn't have any lines or anything, so it makes it very difficult to kind of segregate your expenses, and it becomes like this one clutter. Like in 1 week I tried to kind of note down the things that I spent on and it was not very clear, so I just let it go. Like it's like a narrow column, so if you're trying to write the item and the amount, it doesn't fit in properly. So I also stopped using the budget tracker. Then one more thing which I was really surprised that it didn't work for me this year is the weekly reflections page, because I loved it last year and they didn't really change much. It was overall the same thing, but for some reason reason, because that page also had the budget tracker, and they kind of had like the wins and the misses and stuff like that. That was like the prompt last year. They kind of changed it a little bit, and I just lost little interest. I think I still filled in the gratitude section for most of the weeks, but I just kind of left the whole weekly reflections and the weekly like goal setting pages pretty empty, because my goal setting happens at the beginning of the month, not at each week. And even if I'm thinking of it like as a weekly goals thing, I kind of write it down within the weekly spread and not have a separate page where I write down my weekly goals. I don't know if that's making sense, but that's how I think of it. Like if I have a weekly goal, then I will write it down on the days of the week that I'm actually doing the goals. If I'm supposed to complete a course, then I will write, you know, for like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do lesson 1, 2, 3, and then hence like complete the course. That is how I would break it down, and that's why I haven't used any of the weekly reflection or the weekly goal planning sheets at all in Inkbucket. That was my experience of Inkbucket this year. I would say that as a memory keeping planner, it's excellent. Like I really found that to be the best use of it for me. It has a lot of spreads that I am not currently using, so it makes the planner a little extra bulky for me, but it's okay because I work from home this year. Next year I won't be, but this year I've been working from home, so it's okay. I didn't have to like carry my planner anywhere, and plus this is like a very personal planner, so it's not something that I would have to lug around anyway. But I would have liked to take this on trips that I took on like vacations with my friends and stuff and family, and I was not able to do that because it's really heavy. So I would like a planner where I can kind of write down like my daily journaling things and also take it along with me. I think that would be nice. So these are my takeaways from the Inkbucket planner. Now we will move on to the Tiny Changes planner, because that's also something that I got at around the same time. I got this as a Secret Santa gift. I really liked the concept of it. I really liked how it was laid out and everything. And once I started using it, I used it up until May. That's when my workload kind of increased a little bit, and that's why I think it wasn't serving me at the time, because until then I was also writing down my work to-dos here, and as you can see, I have like marked out different sections of the planner with these posted flags and stuff, and they had a lot of interesting divisions within this planner. And I was using this solely as my work to-do planner, but then I kind of realized that I definitely take down a lot of other like extra information for work, and I have another separate planner, you know, just to note down things related to work. Then it makes 2 notebooks that I have to refer to when I am actually sitting down to work, and it just makes my space a little bit cluttered. And with my workload increasing, I kind of just completely switched to just a blank notebook for work where I wrote down my to-dos for the day in the beginning and the actual notes and whatever information I needed after that. So I just moved to a far simpler system. That this wasn't working for me anymore, and that's not to say that this is not a great planner. I really like a lot of the spreads that are on here. So the hits for me were definitely the goal planning spreads, because of all of the great like prompts that they have and the segregations that they had like with work and personal, and the focus that they had on mind, body, relationships, just like asking you to kind of get down and plan the important things in life. And also the monthly review sections has like asked you to do ratings of yourself on like 1 to 10 and how you did, what are your big 3 goals, did you achieve them, how did you do on your habits and stuff. I think this is a pretty good rating system. I did use this monthly review for a couple of months, but again, like I kind of felt a little disconnected from this. The monthly review section has like really interesting prompts, and it asks you to rate your week and your like habits and stuff on like 1 to 10, and you can actually compare from month to month how you're doing. And this is a good idea. I like the concept of it, but somehow I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I just feel like it's not very simple and straightforward. You actually have to think and like rate yourself on it, and then it becomes like I don't know, it wasn't a very therapeutic thing for me. It just became like another stressful thing. Oh my god, I have to think about this also. So I dropped that. I didn't like continue with it, but they had really nice like cover pages here which you could color in, and I have like colored a few. Those were cute. I like doing that, but it just felt like a lot of work. And this planner, although the spreads make you think a lot, if this is your only planner then great, but if you have to maintain it as part of a system, I feel like it was a little too much work. Moving on to the misses for the Tiny Changes planner, the weekly parts are really narrow. Like in the beginning I tried to fit in at least like 3-4 to-do list items, but then you can't add any follow-ups if some sudden meetings come up, and there was no space to add that into like the daily part of the weekly spread, and it just became too much for me, got too overwhelming. So I switched out to a simpler system. And then finally I have the Artchetype Planner, which I bought in I think April end or something, and I started using it from May. So what I really like about it, like the complete hits of this planner, is first of all, this is my favorite cover. I love the golden Viro bindings. I love all of this. Was like a definite hit for me in terms of like how the planner looks and feels. I like that it's a hardcover. I did throw it in my bag and take it on one of my trips, and it definitely lasted the journey. There was no damage whatsoever to any of the pages or anything. The tabs inside are much sturdier, so I really like that. I started using this in May, and I love the weekly section of the planner, so you can actually write down to-do lists properly, and they are all like rectangular and long and have enough space, and they also get your water tracker. I have used it from May till like the middle of September. Then again, I moved to a new role and I kind of needed to set up a different system with my work notebook, etc. So I just completely moved it out there, because here I was kind of noting down a mix of to-dos of personal and work, and I have a lot of important personal things coming up, so it just became like really chaotic with the two mashing together. So I separated it all. I switched my personal to-do lists over to my phone. Like I just started using Google Keep for all of the to-dos, because they were not like in a dated fashion. But for my work to-dos, I moved into the actual work diary and moved out of this planner. But I did use it properly for 5 months, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like it had enough space. I also really like the monthly section, because they have like little reminders of some unique days, like International Coffee Day or like Best Friends Day or something like that. So those were cute to look at. And also the stickers, they are the cutest. I love the stickers from Artchetype, and I think they are like equal parts functional and artsy, and they also fit into like a variety of situations that you might be having throughout the year. So they seem to be pretty versatile in that sense. Another thing I really liked is the budget tracker in this planner. It's properly like laid out and has, you know, the columns and space, and you can write everything down neatly with the date and amount and whatever item that it is that you have bought. So I like that, like the structure of that. Although I did not use the meal planning section, I really liked having a grocery list section. That part I did use. So I think it would be really useful to have like a grocery list, so you can keep noting down things over the weeks that you feel like you might need, and then take a picture and then go shop. I think that's like a very useful thing to have. Then because I bought this planner from May and I was using like May to September properly, like, you know, as a planner, I have started using this planner as like my fitness planner as well, right? So because it's laid out in like these boxes, I will show. So because the weekly pattern is like in this sort of a boxes, so I just write down my entire workout list here, everything that I need to do every single day with sets and reps and whatever weights that I need to use. I just write it down in a list and tick it off as I go. I find it really easy to carry like my whole workout schedule in this, and like that's why if you can take it along. It's not too bulky, it's not too heavy, it's easy to carry, and that's how I have been using. Like I don't want to waste so many pages, so that's how I've been using the first half of the planner. I made into my fitness planner since the month of May. It would have 6 months of all of my fitness routine. Moving on to the misses. Number one, I do not like the trackers. Like the monthly trackers they have, first of all, it's not even in the beginning of the month, it's at the end of the month. Highly unlikely that anyone would flip through that. And then they have it as like categories, and then you can list down different habits under the categories. There is way too much space for that, like 20 lines they've given. It's impossible. Like I don't think anybody should have 20 habits. I just absolutely did not use that space at all. Then they also have the meal planning section. Again, like I personally never use the meal planning section, so those pages were pretty much pasted for me. I never flipped to that. So these are the planners that I have been using for 2022, and I absolutely love having like all of these planners to kind of understand where I'm at with my planning journey, where I feel the most comfortable, you know, writing down things, and how I can manage my time and energy the best. So I know a lot of you might be thinking it's a little excessive, like why does she have so many planners? There's no need, you know, all you need is like a to-do list, etc, etc. I'm sure all you need is a to-do list, not me. I like having things all laid out in front of me. I enjoy having like multiple planners, but I really need a system, like a proper system for the upcoming year. So I'm still brainstorming on how that might work out for me, how that might look for me, but I'm really excited to explore all of the options that I have. I don't think I'm going to be buying an Artchetype or a Tiny Change or an Inkbucket this year again, simply because I already experienced it, and I really want to try something new, and I want to see if there's anything in the market which can, you know, come to my like very specific taste. Highly unlikely, but I'm just curious to see what else is out there. And yeah, that was the video, guys. Let me know if you have any of these planners this year, and if you use them, let me know your experience down in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Bye. you.